Hey guys, this is Dr. V. But first, I'd like to take a moment to thank the Alpha Leaders team for having me on the channel. Now, I get it. You might be saying, well, who is Dr. V? And I'll tell you. Some say I went from street talk to stock talk, while others say I went from the corner to a corner office. Me, I like to say I went from a place of poverty and pain, fell into second grade, numerous mugshots, back to school to get my PhD. And now I get to travel the entire world, inspiring people just like you on topics like we're going to cover today, like don't be average, because you weren't created to be average. Don't quit, right? Because quitters never win, and you're not a quitter. Taking control of your life. That's right. Getting in the driver's seat, navigating your life down the best path possible so you can see the success that you desire. And breaking up with excuses. That's right. No more excuses. We don't need excuses in this life because those excuses are more than likely holding us back from being successful. So if you're ready to enjoy this ride with me, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Now I need you to say this with me. I need you to say it from your chest and say it like you mean it. Don't be average. All right. I caught you off guard with that one. Let's do it one more time. Don't be average. That's right. So I need you to understand that you weren't created to be average. So don't be average. Don't wake up on Monday like, oh, I hate Mondays. Average people do that. They wake up and say, oh, it's Monday. Oh, is it Friday yet? Like, no. You're not average. So you're not going to wake up like that anymore. Maybe you already stopped waking up that way because you find the value in today. But here's something that people or successful people do who are not so average people do. They set a plan for their life. They set a plan for their day. They set a plan for their week, their month, their year, right? So what is the plan, right? But they set the plan based on the goal. So let's think about it. Maybe you have a goal to buy a new car. No, that's not you. Okay. Maybe you have a goal to buy a new house. Not you either. All right. Maybe you have a goal to build upon your relationships. Not you either. All right. Maybe you have a goal to get a promotion on the job. Not you either. All right. Maybe you have a goal to start that new business. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter which one it is. They set the goal and then they develop a plan to get there. See, what I learned on this journey is when I was going for the PhD is that the goal was the PhD. But there were steps I had to do to get there. And what I liked about it is the school laid out 16 milestones or 16 steps that I had to do to get there. So if I did step 1, followed by step 2, followed by step 3, eventually I get to step 16, which means I would get my PhD. See, a lot of times when we set our goals, we say, yeah, I want to do this or I want to do that, but we set no goals that we can go after or no steps that we can go after to achieve the goal. So I want to challenge you to look at life this way or look at your goals this way. What is the plan of attack? How are we going to get there? And once you lay that out, matter of fact, get a pen, write the goal down. And once you write the goal down, write the steps that you're going to do to get there. All right, so now you got your steps. Now, once you got the steps, I want you to understand something. When I was on the PhD journey, I started going towards that. Now, I failed the second grade because I struggled with reading and writing. So in the PhD, there's a lot of reading and writing. And what I found is I was not at the level that I should be in. So while the school gave me 16 steps or milestones, I had to add a few sub-steps or sub-milestones in there to help me stay the course. Now, see, you may have to do that. See, the way our mind is designed, we see goal and we want results, right? We like, that's the goal I want and I want to get there. We don't think about the steps in between. And when you're on that journey, sometimes you can lay out the steps and when you get on the path, it doesn't look exactly the way you thought it should look. You may have to add a few steps or sub-steps, right? So I had to add a writing coach to help me go to the next level. So you might need to add something in there to help you go to the next level. Maybe it's not a writing coach, but maybe it's a coach, or maybe it's a mentor, maybe it's an accountability partner, somebody that will hold you accountable to the goal that you set, to the plan that you set, so you can execute and get there. Like, don't get caught up in just the goal. Understand that the steps will develop you. Like, fall in love with the journey because that's the development of you achieving the goal. See, if we just wrote the goal and then we woke up tomorrow and it came true, we really wouldn't appreciate it, more than likely. Okay, not you, maybe just me. Okay, but what I'm telling you is this during the journey, you're going to be developed into who and what God has called for you to be. You're going to appreciate the goal a little bit differently on that journey. Okay, now as you're on that journey, I'm going to tell you something, man. It's going to get hard. It's going to get tough. You're going to feel alone. You're going to lose some friends, some family, some coworkers. Like, you're going to lose people, not in the sense of death, but you're going to lose them in the sense that they're not on the journey with you. And that's okay. That's a part of being successful. The more successful you come, you will have to separate yourself from some old things. What is it saying? Separation creates elevation. So don't be afraid to separate if you're really looking to elevate. But on this journey, it's going to get hard. It's going to be tough. So I want to challenge you to think like this. Don't quit. That's it. Just like that. Say it with energy. Don't quit, because you're not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. We're not quitters, because I'm in this with you. We're not quitters. Right? And quitters never win. So if we plan to win, that means what? We can't quit. So listen, it's going to be tough. You're going to be alone. You're going to have some late nights. You're going to have some early mornings, all of that. And then here's the thing. You're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, is that your dream? Is that your goal? Right? Once you start to see your dreams and goals coming true, don't slow up. Don't release. Like, apply more pressure. Put more gas to that thing. Go a little harder. Put yourself in a position to where you make sure you achieve the dreams and the goals that you set out for yourself. Because if you start to let up, you might miss it. You might miss the opportunity of being where it is you said you want to be. So I want you to understand, just because you see a little light at the end of the tunnel don't mean slow up. It means we're going to go a little bit harder. But here's something else I want you to think about when I talk about don't quit, right? When we talk about don't quit, we're talking about how you have to stay consistent and be committed. Those two things go hand in hand, right? Is it the same thing? No, it's not. There were days where I was consistent in chasing my dreams and goals, but I wasn't so committed. But it was the consistency of getting up every day. Man, I got to get up and go to this gym. Man, I got to get up every day and I got to go study. Right? I was consistent, and it created a commitment within me. And then there were times where I was so committed that even when my consistency got knocked off track, right, my commitment put me right back on track. So we need both of those to keep us on the straight, to keep us going towards our dreams and our goals, to keep us working that plan, to keep us knocking those milestones down. So understand that you've got to have some consistency and you've got to have some commitment, and you've got to marry the two along this journey of going to your dreams and your goals. Because I'm gonna tell you what, there were many times that I wanted to quit. There were many times that I wanted to give up. But man, let me tell you about a time when I really was ready to throw in the towel. And had I thrown in the towel, Dr. V wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Not in this way anyway. Man, I was on the PhD journey, and I said, you know what? This ain't for me. I give up. I'm going to go back home and live good life. I got a good career. I got a master's degree. I'm cool. And what I found in that moment was I was defeated. I had given up. I was quitting on myself. I was quitting on my dream. I was quitting on my goal because it had gotten hard. I had became discouraged because I had walked into a room that didn't look like me. The people didn't look like me. They didn't dress like me. They didn't walk like me. They didn't talk like me. So I was defeated. I was beating my own self up. I was counting my own self out. How many times have you counted yourself out of a blessing? How many times have you counted yourself out of your dream or your goal simply because the room you walked into didn't look like you thought it was supposed to look? But see, I called home and I spoke to my 3 children that morning. I spoke to my 3 children. I spoke to my youngest son. I spoke to my daughter. But when I spoke to my middle child, it changed my life forever. And here's what he said to me in that moment. He said, "I'll talk to you later, future Dr. Coleman." And see, it was in that moment that I realized something. I started to cry, I had some tears in my eyes. And I realized in that moment that, hey, this guy believes in me more than I believe in myself. He sees it. He sees his dad on the journey. He became an accountability partner in that moment. He became a coach in that moment because a coach believes in us. Accountability partner holds us accountable. A mentor pushes us, right, through to the next level. So what my son did in that moment, he played kind of all 3 parts, right? Because I didn't believe in myself. I had already told myself I quit. I want to challenge you to do this. Don't quit, right? Don't give up on you. Don't quit on your dreams. Don't quit on your goals. Don't quit on your family. Don't quit on that job. Don't quit on that business. Don't quit. Learn something. You might have to reposition yourself. You might have to dig in deeper, but don't quit, because you are not a quitter. And we all know this. Quitters never win. Had I quit quit that day, I would have never won and got to the 16th milestone to walk across that stage and obtain my PhD. Man, I don't know if it's a PhD for you or if it's starting that business, but whatever you wrote down when we started this, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to believe in it enough to not quit, because that's a part of you. You don't want quitting to become a part of you, do you? No, I don't want it to become a part of me. From that day forward, when my son spoke those words to me, I made a promise to myself I would never quit again. I would never quit again, because here's another thing that I realized, that there was someone watching me. While he may have been younger, smaller, littler, he was watching me. And he was watching me in a moment when he saw me racing towards my dreams and my goals. And because I was racing towards my dreams and my goals, he was inspired to race towards his. There's somebody watching you that's inspired by what you're doing. They're inspired by the fact that you believe that this is possible. They're inspired by the fact that they see you keep pushing. They're inspired by the fact that they know you haven't given up. They're inspired by you. So don't give up, because that's not what average people, that's what average people are doing. We're not average, and you're not a quitter, because quitters never win. You understand what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm glad we riding along on this one. All right. So the next point I want to cover is talking about getting in the driver's seat, taking control of your life. That's right. See, much of my life, I didn't have control of it. I blamed everybody else for what went wrong in my life and took credit for what went right. I know that's a lot of people. It ain't true? Well, cool. I'll be honest. It was me. I blamed a lot of people for what was going wrong with my life, but I took credit for everything that went right. But see, when you get in the driver's seat, no matter what happens, you know that you are in control. You own that moment. You own that situation. So when I look back at my mug shots and I can think to each one, and every time I had got arrested, I knew who I had blamed in the moment. I blamed everyone but myself. But here's my question. Where was I in the moment? What was my role? What was my responsibility? Why did I allow myself to be there? Even if I didn't create the environment, why didn't I leave the environment to prevent me from being arrested? Because I was a victim. I walked around with the victim mentality. But what's interesting for me with having a victim mentality is from the day I was born, God called me to win. He called you to win. So much so he called me to win that he named me Victor. That's right. He named me Victor. But somewhere along the way, my pain, my frustration, my anger with my family, my parents, my peers, whatever was around me, I was just angry. And so angry that I told people not to call me Victor, but to call me Vic. Vic felt like it was cooler than me. I didn't want to be Victor because I didn't want to be like my dad and all these different things. So people started calling me Vic. But when they started calling me Vic, yes, I dropped the TOR, but I would pick up some new letters. I went from Victor to Vic to victim. I had a victim mentality. You see what I just said there? Sometimes you've been called to win, or somewhere in your life you've been called to win, but you've chosen to give up on your winnings because it didn't look cool, or because of how you felt, or because of, man, break up with all of that and let's get back to the fact of you've been called to win. So don't quit. Take control of your life and get in the winning lane. You are a winner. You're a winner. You're a winner. Say it. Yes, I am a winner. Say it. I am a winner. Yes, you are a winner. And that's the way you have to do this thing. So I had to get to a place in my life where I understood that I was walking around with this victim-like mentality. So I had to break up with the victim mentality, get back to Vic for a moment, and then I realized that I was a victor. And when I did that, when I made that shift, I went back to Victor and I made a promise to myself I'd never jump in the losing game again. I would never trade in my winnings for anyone else again. I would never let anyone have control over the victory lane that I'm supposed to be in, because I was called to win. You were called to win. We were called to win. Why are we trading in our winnings to lose? Because we've seen other people around us settling. That's why. Because we see other people around us becoming victims. That's why. I'm not saying stuff ain't gonna happen to you. What I'm saying is we taking control of the life that we live. We're taking ownership of this thing. We're going to hold ourselves accountable every day going forward to make sure we don't quit on the dreams and goals that we set and said we're going to go after. Why? Because we're not average. You're not average. And I'm in this with you. That's why I'm saying we. Okay. And the last piece I want to talk to you about, really want to touch on is we've got to break up with the excuses. That's right. We've got this excuse making mentality where we find an excuse to talk ourselves out of chasing our dreams and our goals, to talk ourselves out of all the things that it is we say we want to do instead of finding solutions. True story. One day I pull up to the gym. I'm well-bodied, well-healthy. I like to think so anyway. And I'm at the gym and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go in the gym today. No, I'm not going to go in the gym. Today is not the day. And I just was feeling defeated. You've ever felt defeated? Like you didn't want to go into the job, or you didn't want to mow the lawn, or you didn't want to spend time with the kids today, or the wife or the husband or the whoever. You just felt defeated. Like I've been in that place where I felt defeated. Like I just had every excuse for why not today. But when I was sitting there in front of the door, this car pulls up and this lady gets out. It must have been an Uber or something. This lady gets out and she gets out with a cane and she walks into the gym. She didn't make any excuses. She broke up with the excuses. See, you're letting your excuses cause you to sit back and look at the door that you're supposed to be walking through. But she didn't let those excuses. She used that cane and she walked on in the door and she got her workout in to the best of her ability. Let me tell you something. She wasn't worried about the bodybuilders in there. She wasn't worried about who was super fit, who had the best this or best that. Get your head in the game and get out that cloud. So I got out my truck that day and I went in, and every day going forward from that moment, I stopped making excuses even on that level. I might have broke up with the excuses of chasing the PhD or running my business or whatever it was, but I found that I still had excuses in other areas of my life. And for me on that particular day, it was in the area of fitness. Somebody might have an excuse in the area of finances. Somebody might have an excuse in the area of family. Somebody might have an excuse in the area of faith. I'm going to tell you today, we're breaking up with excuses. You're breaking up with excuses. No more excuses. Say it with me. No more excuses. Say it. No more excuses. That's right. We're breaking up with excuses because guess what? That's stopping us from going to the next level that we desire to be in this thing we call life. All right. So break up with those excuses. I like to look at this way. Today we're going to break up with excuses, right? We've been courting excuses. We've been dating excuses. We've been treating excuses nice in our life because it's been giving us what we want, right? It's been giving us our way. Let's say it that way. It's been giving us our way, right? We breaking up with that. We don't want that no more. When we see excuses in public, we going the other way. We going where we find solutions, right? We got a solution mind that we're taking on now. Like we're done with the excuses. No more excuses, period, right? And then what we going to do, we're going to start dating. Yep, taking control of our life. We getting back in the driver's seat. We're going to date taking control of our life. We're going to fall in love with taking control of our life today, this day, and every day going forward. That's right. We're taking control of our life this day and every day going forward because it's all about you. It's all about you being in control of where you are and where you desire to be, right? When you put in the destination on your GPS and you pop that phone or that GPS up on your dash and you start driving, you're in the driver's seat, right? You set the goal, you know where you're trying to get to, and you're going to navigate there. That's what we're doing. So when we're breaking up with the excuses, we've now set the GPS towards what we want because we're in control. We've set the GPS towards what we want when we talked earlier in the video, right? So we're navigating our lives towards that thing or that goal that is that we said we wanted. Again, that could be in the area of faith. That could be in the area of family. That could be in the area of fitness. That could be in the area of finances. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're navigating there with no excuses now. We're done making excuses. We're done. We're looking for solutions. What are the solutions to the problems that I'm facing? The next thing we're going to do is we're done. We're going to fall in love. So we fell in love with taking control of our life. Now we're going to we're going to be engaged with not quitting. We're done quitting. You ain't no quitter. I ain't no quitter. We ain't no quitters. We done with that today. Last day. We're done. So whatever you quit on yesterday, cool. You got away with it. But today I'm holding you accountable, right? Hold me accountable too. We done quitting because you're not a quitter. Ain't nothing in this about us quitters. So we're going to be engaged with not quitting. We're going to fall in love on this journey, right? And then the last piece we're going to do while we engage, because when you engage, that's the honeymoon phase. It's all nice, right? Cool. We're going to marry our dreams and our goals because we're not average. We're going to marry our dreams and our goals because we're not average. Because let me tell you something. The average person never gets to their dream or their goal. And that's sad. I heard that only 8% of people, dreams and goals come true. But it's because they create a plan. They work the plan. When things get hard, they don't quit. They hold themselves accountable, right? They take ownership. That part. And they don't use no excuses. See, that's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing this day, this week, this month, this year, and for the rest of our lives. That's what we're doing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this energy and we're going to go empower everybody around us who really say they want their dreams and their goals to come true. We're going to empower them to do this because we doing it. They're going to see us doing it. They're going to be like, man, I want some of his energy. They're going to see us doing it. They're going to be like, man, I want some of that. What he got, I need some of that. Give me some of that. Please. Can you serve me a double dose? Like, that's how people are going to act. You think I'm joking. I'm serious. This is how people act when they see you with good energy. So this day forward, we got good energy. We good. We moving forward with good energy. And then that last piece, we marrying our dreams and our goals. Man, can you imagine what your life would be like? Not having to wake up and go to work for somebody else if that's your dream or your goal. Can you imagine what your life would be like when you get that dream car, that dream house? Can you imagine what your life would be like when you heal from that pain and that trauma and you build those relationships, new healthy relationships with the people you love? Can you imagine what your life would be like once your finances truly get free? Can you imagine what your life would be like? If you can't imagine it, I'm going to imagine it for you and I'm going to paint a picture. Let me tell you, it's such a peace of mind that comes over you. It's such a calmness all around you. Nothing can vibrate or shake you out of where you're going. Once you take control, once you break up with excuses, once you get in your mind that I am a winner and I will never quit again. Once you marry those dreams and those goals and you see how beautiful it is to unveil it, I promise you every day forward will be full of joy and full of peace. Not because life is perfect, but because you have found the perfect way to appreciate life. Listen, for more inspirational content like this, make sure y'all follow the Alpha Leaders. And when you're done following the Alpha Leaders, you can come follow me on social media sites at Dr. V the Speaker. That's right, on all social media platforms at Dr. V the Speaker. If you want to book me to come to an event or a city near you, go over to my website, www.drvthespeaker.com. Man, I'm so inspired. I'm so energized. I feel so full after talking to you today. And I hope you feel the same. All right, man. I love y'all. Be blessed.